Looking back, I knew something was funky about this video, but I didn't understand exactly what went wrong when I began editing the Skills Day cut. Literally decades ago, I earned an art school degree in multimedia, but as some of you have guessed, I knew nothing, Jon Snow, about white balance, color correction, and all kinds of other post-editing techniques important to filming with action cameras. So stick around with me as I educate my way through some of the beginner basics of post-production, starting with a few settings tests. This first clip shows the difference between the most commonly used white balance options on your GoPro, 5500 and 6500K, under full sunlight. You can clearly see the blue sky in the 5500K, while the 6500 has a noticeable sepia overtone. And this clip shows those same settings as filmed on an overcast day. And if you notice that very subtle change, I just applied automatic color correction to the end of this clip.
Alright, video test. I think this one is at 5500K. Daylight in the background, full daylight, no clouds, lots of shadows, lots of contrast. Alright, video test number 2, 6500K. Same conditions outside. This was supposed to be more for a overcast day. I'm just curious to see what the difference is.
These next clips demonstrate the difference between the automatic adjustments provided by iMovie. First we have full auto, then skin tone, which goes crazy sepia based off of my skin tone, and finally white balance, which really boosts the contrast of your video. You can see that each of the auto adjustments improves the video quality slightly, but each in their own specific way. The best way to present your clips is with a custom profile that you dial in. To start, choose a frame that features a little of everything in your overall scene, and then adjust the color, contrast, and white balance sliders until the image looks natural, like the day you shot it. I sometimes find it best to adjust the sliders a lot and then work my way backward to find the desired balance. As I continue to learn and grow as a mountain biker, I find myself filming outside and under changing conditions a lot. This situation is what many would call a GoPro nightmare, when the trails go back and forth from sunny and exposed to tree-lined and shaded. And to be honest, Ryan, the Loam Ranger, has kindly reminded me in more than a few of his videos that my GoPro footage sucks, so I decided to listen, learn, and upgrade my shots. I've been filming the majority of my footage on a Hero 4 with a handheld gimbal, as I did for this trail walkthrough, and most everything else on a Hero 5 session. I've also used a Canon SX50HS on a handful of shots, and while I dig its cinematic presentation, it's a little tricky for shooting fast action shots. Here's some more info on those cameras. I'm borrowing the Hero 4, gimbal, and chesty, as they all belong to my buddy Chad, who previously used them to capture downhill skiing shots like this. That's pretty awesome, right? Anyway, I own the Hero 5 session because it was a white elephant gift from Christmas 2 or 3 years ago, and the Canon, well, it's maybe 7 years old, but still an excellent digital SLR camera, even if it is very much entry level. I say all that to get to this point. I'm doing my best to start presenting better quality videos with an engaging story that entertains and informs. I know I'm a few years late and am seriously overdue for a GoPro upgrade, but I feel like I needed to do this to learn how to use the tools that are really available to me. And as a side note to all that increased better footage, I really love this shot of the troll drop and G-out bridge that I just built. Man, it just looks really, really cool down there, even with all this super high contrast and, bright sunshine and all the shadows that are presented by the trees. I really like it. My neighbor Dale lives just up the hill, and in his spare Corona time, he's been building this awesome timber bridge. He's a retired civil engineer who served in Vietnam and has done just about every construction job you can name, and I'm quite proud to know him. The bridge features legit concrete abutments and shellacked 2x10s for the girders, so this thing is super solid and should be here for many years to come.
Looks pretty tacky. A little squishy. That's just on that little side coming down the hill. It's all rock down here. There's no water flowing through. Probably won't be for a few more rains. Howdy guys. Man, trying to stop saying so much in my monologues here, so let's start over. Howdy YouTube. Got super cold in the last few days here in Texas. Howdy YouTube. Got really cold in Texas the last few days. It's been like 38 degrees. I imagine everybody else up north knows all about that because it's cold and wintry everywhere else. But yeah, last week here it was in the 80s. It was super hot. You remember seeing me sweat my butt off down in the creek down there at the troll drop. Well, today we're gonna go, actually just take a walk down there and see how soft the ground is. We got a ton of rain the last 2 days. So anyway, may not be rideable, might be perfect. We'll see.